All slides belong to the Marshall Project online news journal covering U.S. criminal justice system, and 13th, the 2016 Netflix documentary by Ava DuVernay. Did you know that the U.S. incarcerates 25% of the world's prisoners, yet we only make up 5% of the world's population? As recently as 2016, 6.5 million US citizens and undocumented immigrants were locked up on parole or probation or under the supervision of a corrections entity. While crime rates in the US were declining, incarceration rates were climbing. Mass incarceration is a huge problem for the US, and we have to solve it. The Marshall Project online news journal says that the prison industry complex has grown 1,600% over a 20-year period. You may ask, has not every nation in the civilized world incarcerated to keep order, protect their citizens, and carry out rules of a just society since forever? Yes, you're correct in that assessment, but the problem is not incarceration itself. It is the fact that we as a nation are suffering from over-incarceration, wrongful incarceration, and incarceration for convenience. Laura B. Eisen, in her 2018 book, Inside Private Prisons, An American Dilemma in the Age of Mass Incarceration, published by Columbia University Press, writes, in response to the Anti-Drug Abuse Act of 1986, two companies began to build and expand what is known today as the prison industry complex. Their growth and expansion was sustained until in more recent years, one of the companies extended its reach to the area of illegal immigrant detention around 2016, I suppose. They might have ramped up security for security reasons around 2011. Currently, only these same two companies and their subsidiaries hold all prison contracts with our government. In her book, The New Jim Crow, Mass Incarceration in the Age of Colorblindness, Michelle Alexander says, out of what appeared to be unlimited federal funding of law enforcement grew new and harsher legal penalties. With the leverage of such severe penalties, local DAs used coercion to force thousands of addicted men and women defendants to plead guilty to horrendous charges for minor offenses or crimes they never committed and go straight to prison without ever having a fair trial. These plea deals still ensure that today, for every charge, there will be a conviction and a subsequent punishment, most often imprisonment. More than 80% of these cases never go to trial. In their book, Prison Privatization and Inmate Labor in the Global Economy, Reframing the Debate Over Private Prisons, A.C. Aman Jr. and Carol Greenhouse say inmate labor competition in world markets and huge profits is the underlying motive to keep the prison industry going. Many inmates work full-time for little or no pay to the advantage of private prison corporations, not even our government, who pays for empty beds in the privately owned and run prisons. If you disagree that there is discrimination, racist, or unethical practices in the judicial system, consider that the Marshall Project, an online news journal covering the U.S. criminal justice system, says 50% of incarcerated people have a diagnosis of being mentally ill, and they go in and out of prison because there is no funding available elsewhere to help them. In closing, for those of us about to graduate and join the workforce, we will find ourselves in the middle of the new prison reform project. This nationwide project provides opportunities for employment in criminal justice and law, as it is a direct response to our problem of mass incarceration. As students who care about the future of our democracy, we can change the face of the United States judicial system from the inside. And I do not mean by jumping on the treatment in prison bandwagon either. I am not comfortable with entrusting my mental health to the prison industry complex. When we allow one of our citizens' constitutional rights to be violated without recourse, we risk all our rights being taken away. Our cities are not safe in the hands of the privatized prison industry complex. The main purpose of this video is to persuade those who are listening to become involved in the dismantling and reassembling of the United States judicial system, to convince them that if this problem is not resolved and the system is not changed, it will eventually compromise our democracy, take away our freedoms, and ultimately destroy our nation. Thank you.